But I just want to say welcome. I am, again, Sydney from the RNTA team, Research and National Technical Assistance. I'm joined on this webinar by my colleagues Ryan Smith, Bernadette Grafton, and David Riedel from the RNTA team specifically. And then we also have David Ives joining us, who wears a couple hats, but he is our interim director at the Performance and National Programs Division and our planning coordinator and CEDS extraordinaire. So you'll hear from him in a little bit, but we just want to welcome you to the webinar, say thank you so much for joining us today. We know that right now is a really busy time of year, so we really appreciate the time you're taking out of your day to join us and learn more about the CEDS resource tool. That being said, we really want this to be a super interactive presentation, so please feel free to stop us, ask questions throughout the entire demonstration. And with that, I am going to hand it off to the Stats America team, to Brittany.
Hi everyone, as Sydney said, I'm Brittany Hotchkiss and I'm a database technician at the IVRC. I am joined by my colleague Riley Zipper, who is a data analyst at the IVRC. And we are happy to be showing you some of the uses of the CEDS Resource Library on Stats America today. There we go. First off in this webinar, David Ives will be talking to you generally about CEDS, the CEDS Resource Library, and why we created this resource in the first place. Then I'll walk you through the tool and show you how to use it. I'll show you how to search for your CEDS and other documents on the tool, and then I'll discuss the uses of the resource library for comparing and learning what other EDDs are doing with their CEDS. And then at the end, we'll take any questions you might have. If over the course of the presentation you have any questions at all, please feel free to type them in the chat box and we will address them at the end of the webinar. So take it away, David.
Thank you very much, Brittany. Again, my name is David Ives and I am EDA's planning coordinator. And I know many folks who may be on this webinar are already familiar with the CEDS, but for those that may not, I wanted to provide a little bit of a background on the CEDS and why we undertook this effort to develop a CEDS resource library. Although most of the time when we talk about CEDS, we're referring to the actual strategic planning document, I need to point out that the CEDS is as much a process as it is an actual document. It's really about bringing together multiple players in the public, private, nonprofit, educational, and other sectors to lay out a blueprint for how that particular region, and I should note that the CEDS is an inherently regional process and document, about how those players are going to build the capacity collectively and collaboratively for economic development based on the challenges and opportunities for that particular region. As I noted, the CEDS document is a regional roadmap. It's a 5-year plan for how that region will build the capacity for economic development. And when I say building capacity, I'm talking about helping better position that region so that the private sector can succeed. In effect, it's about building, improving, or more effectively leveraging regional assets so that businesses want to form and grow in that particular area. So the CEDS Resource Library was our attempt to bring the almost 400 CEDS developed by our Economic Development District partners into one place so that EDDs and other regional planning entities could learn from each other, extract best practices, find examples to emulate, and compare content and style with other CEDS. And I should point out too that one of the things we strive for with the CEDS is encouraging EDDs and our other planning partners to develop a CEDS in both content and style that fits the needs of that particular region in which they're operating. So other than some general content category requirements that we ask for, the look and feel, the format, and the areas of focus of each CEDS is intentionally different. And that makes sense because it's those differences that are going to make the CEDS useful to the leadership and to the stakeholders and to the general public of each region. And this inherent flexibility, has resulted in some really interesting and really creative CEDS that are worthy of taking a look at, particularly for regions that may be similar to your own. So that's really kind of the genesis of this resource library. And I'll turn it back to you, Brittany, and we can start to kind of walk through the library itself.
Great. Thank you, David. So once you get to the CEDS resource library, there are two different ways that you can search for your EDD or your CEDS. The first way is to simply type in the name of an EDD and choose from the autofill list that appears as you type. And then the second way is to use the map to select your EDD. So I will go online and show you what I mean. Here is the CEDS resource library, and here's the quick search. So basically, a good rule of thumb actually to search for CEDS is to search for any directional word or a variation of a directional word. So north, south, east, west, central. I'm going to do Eastern, Eastern Plains Economic Development Corporation. So as you can see, once I selected that from the autofill list, this EDD has two CEDS that are uploaded to the tool. And I want to point out that the year that's listed right here is the first year of the 5-year CEDS. So this one is the 2012 to 2017 CEDS. This is the 2017 to 2022 CEDS for this EDD. If you're interested in actually looking at the CEDS, all you do is click on the arrow icon that's under Download Report right here. And once you do that, it'll open up in a new tab in PDF format. So the second way to search for a CEDS or an EDD is via the map. If you hover over the map, you'll see the names of the EDDs appear as well as the EDA region that that EDD is a part of. You can see that the map is actually color-coded by region. Yellow is Denver, blue is Austin, and so on and so forth. So I'll go ahead and click on Northern Arizona Council of Governments. And this EDD also has two CEDS accessible on the tool right now. And again, if you're interested in looking at them, you just click on this icon and it'll pop up. So once you know how to search for EDDs and CEDS on the tool, you can get into the practical uses of the resource library. We developed a three-prong approach to using the CEDS resource library as a way to improve your CEDS or get information for your CEDS. And the first way is to explore by category. So we split CEDS into 7 different categories that are listed here that you can see: participation, background and socioeconomic characteristics, SWOT analysis, strategic direction and action plan, evaluation framework, resilience, and document related. We analyzed hundreds of CEDS documents and identified what we called exemplars for each of these categories. And these are basically CEDS that really blew us away with each of these sections. So we chose one per EDA region and identified them on the website. And the thought behind that was that these could really serve as examples for how to build a strong CEDS. So let me show you what I mean. And I want to point out that this three-prong approach that I mentioned is actually right here next to the quick search. So this explore by category, what I'm talking about now, and what's to come later, the find peers and the best practices. And in addition, you can go to each one with the tabs up top. So here are the 7 categories I mentioned. You can click on each one to open the accordion with the exemplars beneath. And then similar to before, when you want to actually view the CEDS or documents that we've identified as exemplars, you just click on the EDD name and there it'll pop up. Okay. So the second approach for using the resource library is to find peers. And the idea here is that you can look at analysis conducted by regions that are similar to yours based on various characteristics. It can be helpful to look at similar region CEDS because, as David mentioned, they likely share similar challenges and opportunities. So you start by entering the name of your EDD, and then you pick the data item that you want the peers based on. So for example, here we have total population, per capita personal income growth, percent with a bachelor's degree, unemployment rate, and poverty rate. Then you select if you want to see just your closest peers or if you want to see a lot of your peers. I will show you how this works. So again, I'm just going to pick another directional name. Okay, Northeast. All right, Northeast Florida Regional Council. And I will choose total population and just the closest peers. So once I hit find peers, a list of EDDs appear that are close to the EDD I selected in total population. And you'll see the one that you type in and choose as your EDD will be highlighted in light green. Or you can choose lots of peers. And this will just expand that list, including some more EDDs with a similar population to yours. And as I mentioned before, you just click on the name of the EDD to see what's available and accessible on the tool right now. And finally, the third approach for using the resource library is to view best practices. Pretty much the point of creating a CEDS is to create an action plan or a strategy for your region. So the document is most valuable when it's being actualized. And this area of the tool provides tips and resources for enacting the plans that are in your CEDS. It provides frameworks, project starters, and other resources to get you from the goals that are in your CEDS to a specific action plan. Now, I will show you online. I want to point out that this tab was developed with a combination of guidance from both NATO and EDA, and it's largely based on NATO's CEDS Central work. So if you go to cedscentral.com, if you haven't been, I highly recommend it. There are lots of resources here to help you craft a stronger CEDS. But yeah, the best practices tab on the CEDS resource library just has a lot of tips and resources for creating an action plan from your CEDS. So are there any questions?
There haven't been any questions come across the chat box yet, Brittany, but if people do have questions, you can, you feel free to type them out right now. And if you'd like to have yourself unmuted to maybe ask a more detailed question, that's okay as well.
Great. While people are thinking and kind of mulling that over, trying to come up with any questions they might have, I just want to share some suggested action items that we've come up with to sort of keep you thinking about the CEDS resource library after the webinar. Just a little bit of homework to get you immersed in the tool. So the first thing that we would suggest is check for your EDD on the CEDS resource library. Search for it by name, try to find it on the map. If you don't find it, please let us know. I'm the one that answers the IBRC inbox, so I'm happy to look into any issues that you might find. The second thing we suggest is look to see if your EDD's most current CEDS document is available on the tool. If it's not, please upload it. If you're not registered as a user and you can't upload it, again, just contact us at the IBRC and we will get you registered as a new user. And then finally, just play around with the 3 different approaches that I outlined. Look at some exemplars, find your peers and look at their CEDS. Just kind of play around on the tool and see what you can glean from the resource library.
So we actually did have a question come through that that might have actually been answered by this slide. Someone asked, how can we upload our most recent CEDS? And as Brittany said before, if you already have an account, or if you don't already have an account with the CEDS resource library, you can contact IBRC and they'll register you as a new user.
Yes.
And Brittany, did you give everybody the address, the email address they should send it to?
I haven't said it yet, but it's at the bottom of the slide. You can barely see it. It's ibrc@iu.edu.
And Brittany will also send you instructions for how to use the upload tool, because that is only for EDDs.
I think it's also important to point out that when you do upload the CEDS, it's not going to upload immediately. After you upload it, you won't be able to see it immediately because there's a process that we have to work through internally to make sure that we confer at EDA headquarters with the EDA regional offices to make sure that everything is right and this is the most up-to-date and recent CEDS, and we just get confirmation from our regional office. And Sydney and others have been working diligently to reach out to regional offices and make sure that they are confirming the CEDS that have been uploaded that may not appear yet. So I just wanted to give that, just flag that, so that if you do upload it and you don't immediately see it, understand that it's going to take a little bit of time. So there's no need to continue to upload it again and again and again. Hopefully that makes sense. Thanks.
Good point. Thank you, David. Everybody's so quiet.
A follow-up on that, is there any kind of notification that somebody would receive after they do upload it, like it's submitted, even though it may not be appearing, some kind of a feedback for them to know?
I do not believe that there is a confirmation email that gets sent out. I do know that when you originally register as a user for Stats America, an automatic email is sent out then to show you how to log in and get started using the tool, but I don't believe that there is an email that notifies you that your CEDS document has been successfully submitted. It's a good idea though.
Yeah, and maybe Sydney and Dave can talk about that, because that's certainly a feature that we could add to the upload tool for the EDDs.
Yeah, we could absolutely explore that. I think there'd be a lot of value in that.
Oh, and we got a chat question about how do we register or log in? Again, because the upload tool is specifically just for the economic development districts, we will send you, when you request to be registered as a user, we will send you the login information with the direct link to go to the upload portion of it. Okay, great. Yeah, it's not secret, but because we have so many users of Stats America, we didn't want to disappoint people who might try to log into that, so we don't actually have it as a link directly on Stats America. And I can't remember, Brittany, do we have a place anywhere where we tell people if they're an EDD? who to contact?
I don't think, no, I don't think so. Just who to contact? I don't think so.
Yeah, that might be something we could think about adding to the main CEDS page. If you're an EDD, here's how you go through the process of getting registered. And Brittany, there's a great question for you in the chat box, because I know you and Vicki are already gearing up for the 2019 ACS data. And so Rachel wants to know, how soon will we update it after we get the data on December 10th?
Yeah, so we have a number of things on Stats America that get updated when the ACS data is released. And we sort of have an outline of things, the order with which we do those updates. So I suspect that by the beginning of January, all of the tools on Stats America will be updated with the ACS, the 2019 5-year estimates.
Yeah, we actually bring in, through the Census Bureau's FTP, we bring in all of the raw data files. And we have some pretty massive programming that's already set up to run that through transformation, and then we update each tool in the same kind of sequence that Brittany suggested or said we do. I think typically, Brittany, we hit the US counties in profile first, and then mostly the profiles will get updated most quickly. And we'll probably, because the Bureau's releasing it a bit earlier than they did last year, we'll probably have it done well before January 1st. So we'll make it a Christmas present. So Dave, or Sydney, did you want to end the demonstration? Any final words that you guys from EDA want to share?
I'll just hop in and say thanks for joining us, everyone. As Carol alluded to earlier, and I think Dave Ives as well, I have been working on trying to get all of your updated CEDS on the CEDS library. So thank you guys for being patient as I get those approved and uploaded. And thanks again for joining us today. Dave, anything else from you or anyone else from EDA?
No, just thanks everyone for joining. Again, if you have any questions, you've got the contact information of the EDA staff and of the folks from IBRC. So please do reach out to us.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You all.